It makes me want to have a bowl. And what's happening out there, guys? Welcome along to another episode of 420 News. Apologies there for the little stall on getting ready to go. And Martin gone in to check out, please. Apologies, guys. Yeah, keep them waiting, isn't that to say fashionably late? Sorry, I was just sorting out one or two things in the background and looking for me bloody hat as well. So I'm here, guys. Welcome along to another episode of 420 News. 420 News is brought to you by Martin's World, and I'm your show host, Martin Condon. So, guys, I have, as you would expect, some news for you today, and I'm going to touch back to a news story I touched off of last week, or was it earlier in this week, where there was a 22-year-old who had got caught importing just over €500,000 worth of cannabis into Ireland. He was up before our buddy Judge Shtoners UniTE. And as I said, I will come back to this as it would come up. But very interestingly, Judge Shtoners UniTE has found it reasonable to give this guy a 5-year prison sentence. Now, this individual was... yeah, I did have a shave, actually, guys. This individual was 22 years of age. Again, as I say, he was probably taken advantage of over in maybe it was a Poland, I believe he was after originating from, and he travelled from Poland with the over €600,000 worth of cannabis concealed within the van he was travelling in. He got nabbed at the border, you know, he got caught down at the port when he got off the boat. Old drug dog Bailey was able to sniff him out. Again, you know, another way in which we as cannabis consumers get discriminated against, because if that was a load of cocaine inside of there, I don't think Bailey would have had an old nose in him to be able to detect that. But anyway, this individual, as I say, it would have been 22, preyed upon most likely by organised crime gangs. Now, yes, he probably stand to benefit from this, you know, if he wasn't to have gotten caught. But at the same time, he was taken advantage of. I can't help but think that was a possibility in this situation. You're over there in Poland, you're earning maybe, I don't know what the average income in Poland is like. Is it maybe €1,000 a month or something like that? I'm not too sure what it actually is, the average kind of income over there. But I would imagine €1,000 is probably a decent amount of money to be able to get over there, but I could be wrong. But imagine if you're an organised crime gang, you come along, this 22-year-old, and you say to him, come here, bud, what are you going working fucking 5 days a week, 40 hours for? Look here, we give you 15 grand there, look, hop into the van and drive on over to Ireland. And when you come back there, look, we'll give you another 5 grand there as well. Like, you know, 20 grand there for him to be transporting over what is worth effectively, if... do you know what the estimates of the Gardaí or anywhere near? It's 600,000. Like that's an awful lot of money, and 20,000 to pay to get somebody to transfer that over. It's not unreasonable amount of money to be paying someone either. So like it's a very unfortunate situation. And then you have to look at it that we as taxpayers now have to pay for this. Like, not only did we have to pay for the guards and drug dog Bailey and, you know, holding this individual now, he's been in the custody since March. So since March now, we've been looking after this individual, and now we're going to look after him for another 5 bloody years. So that's a cost of another €500,000 to the taxpayers here in Ireland. €500,000. Like, are you happy with this? Is this good money spent? €500,000. What else could be done with €500,000 around Cork City or around the rest of Ireland? I would imagine there's probably services that could be provided in the less well-off areas. You know, again, I always use them as an example, but the likes of Gerard Rowe, like he's an amazing individual, and services that he works for have been going incredibly underfunded. And here we are, sparing no expense to catch fellas bringing in what is a much desired herb. Like, how many adults across the island of Ireland actually want this? We want this. Like, we are not having any negative impacts upon our life from getting access to and using it unless we get caught with it, which is the problem. So the government need to sort that one out. But I suppose, interestingly enough, in this case, as I say, this was overseen by Judge Shtoners UniTE. So while he seemed fit to give this individual 5 years for bringing in €600,000 worth of cannabis, Judge Shtoners UniTE was also in the media yesterday because of another case he was overseeing. And I don't know, some of you might be aware of this other case that our buddy Assad was overseeing. But this was of the former scout leader David Barry, 72 years of age, who over the course of 20 years sexually assaulted boys from the age of 13 up to 16. Now, there was 29 sexual assault charges brought against him. There could have been more incidents happened, but this is what was brought against him inside in the courts yesterday, or however long it was. I just was really annoyed by this, but this is our buddy Sod here anyway, Sean O'Donovan, who oversaw both cases. And in this case, he gave this individual he gave him 7 years with 2 suspended. Now, this individual, he sexually assaulted, or you could even say raped, a load of young boys who were entrusted into his care by their parents, by the community, because he was a scout leader. He was a peace officer, a commissioner of peace here in the city also. Like, this guy had like a good standing within his community, and this is the crap that he was doing then. He was going and violating that trust. And after doing that, all he gets then is 5 years. Now, in fairness, the guy is 72, but I don't give a shit. Like, he sexually assaulted young boys. He preyed upon young boys. He plied them with alcohol. He got them drunk, and then he fondled with them and sexually assaulted some of them in showers and things like this. Absolutely horrible. He should have got 5 years per child he interfered with, per child he raped. Do you know, that's what he should have got. But Judge O'Donovan gave him a 7-year sentence with 2 years suspended. So this guy's going to be out by the time he's 77. You go back to the last case, you know, the young fella who was only 22 in the prime of his life, and he's going to have 5 years taken away from him also. Like, having 5 years taken away from you in the prime of your life versus having 5 years taken away from you when you're probably at the end of your life, and you fucking deserve it. The young fella 22 didn't deserve it. Like, he's going to be sitting in a cell saying, Jesus, I'm after getting caught with cannabis. I'm locked up for 5 years for cannabis. And meanwhile, he might get access to the Daily News, whatever newspaper to get afforded to inside in the prison. And he's reading stories about cannabis being legalized in places around Europe and in America, and companies being floated on stock exchange selling the exact same product he got caught with and is locked up for millions, if not billions of euros, you know? How much of a twisted world is it? Like, whereas for the old fella, 72, you know, he can go in and be like, yeah, look, I done something wrong. You know, like, you should be fucking locked up. You got lucky. And what to say about the judge? What in the name of God is up there with our judges? Because, like, and other cases overseen by Judge Sean O'Donovan included a one where he brought a drug dealer up. And this was a case on, I think the individual's name was Michael Tanner. Michael Tanner was below in Clonakilty, and apparently the cops were trying to catch this Michael Tanner. Like, he was a top-notch fucking criminal, like, you know what I mean? He was always one step ahead of the cops. 10 years the cops are quoted in chasing this individual Michael Tanner. 10 years the cops were paid by us to go and try to chase after this individual, when really the best way to tackle that individual is to legalize and regulate the products he was selling in the communities, you know? But no, unfortunately, we employ the guards to go and waste all our money and to target these guys, and we know it's a fruitless bloody effort. But anyway, the Michael Tanner, he got caught in possession of €77,000 worth of drugs. It was coke and cannabis resin he got caught with. So he got caught with 77,000 worth of coke and cannabis resin. Guess what he got? He got 15 years. He got 15 years. There was comments there by the judge, you know, saying that this guy is called untold misery for many people in his community. What's this guy done? Why does he give a guy who sells cocaine to consenting adults? Nobody's forced to consume cocaine. If you get addicted to cocaine, that's on you. That's not your drug dealer's fault, in fairness, you know? And then these judges go and kind of hold drug dealers responsible for the untold misery done in our society. The untold misery is done because of prohibition. People can't get access to proper help and services once they're experiencing problematic drug use. That's prohibition. That's not the drug dealers, do you know? And then he gives your man 15 fucking years for that. Like, absolutely horrible. While, you know, a guy who literally raped young boys, kids entrusted into his care by their parents, by our community. You know, he was a scout leader. Like, he was at the top of the scouts as well, this guy, Dave Barry. And 5 years is what he got. Horrible stuff. Like, you know, and another case that I touched off of a few weeks ago as well was this individual above in Clare. This guy was selling coke or something above there. He gets 14 years for his crime. Like, again, consenting adults are coming to buy these products. Now I'm not condoning like what this individual done, because he was mixing his coke with shit like that. Again, that's caused by prohibition. Do you know? But for this guy to get 14 years, for the other drug dealer to be getting 15 years, and then for a man who sexually assaulted young bloody boys and trusted into his care by their parents, he only gets 5 years. We have a backwards fucking society, in fairness. And this individual, he gets 2 years suspended. He gets 5 years out of a 7-year sentence, and he's probably going to be out in maybe 2 or 3, because he's got health problems. He's got cardiac issues. He's not your regular prisoner, in fairness, you know. It's bloody backwards, guys. I just don't understand it. Like, and I hope people just try to get up in arms really about some of these charges being brought against people for simple cannabis cases. Like, all right, it's 600,000 euros worth, but to get 5 years of his life, come on. Like, it's the government's fault. Like, if anything, like, you know, the government should be punished, because look, there's another, what's that? Put a 23% tax on that, like, and you're talking about maybe 120 to 150,000 euro there. That would have been for the taxpayers. The government should be bloody punished for missing out on this opportunity. But look, I'm gonna smoke a bowl after that one, because oh man, that's a horrible fucking case to be over, like, you know, giving it one fella 5 years for raping kids. Like, I just don't know how these judges do it at all. Like, the punishment should fit the crime. Like, if you rape young kids, that stays with them for life. That's something that it's going to be incredibly difficult for them to shake. Life is life, you know what I mean? If you fuck somebody up for life, then you should be locked up for life. If that would be my opinion anyway. Like, that's what I think our man David Barry should have been getting. Should have been life, because he's a sick individual, man, preying on young boys like that.